What's up, my people? Got some time in my hands. I'm feeling good, and I just want to take the time today to really praise who is maybe the greatest, if not one of the greatest rappers of all time. If not, sorry, I shouldn't be eating with my mouth open. What's up, people? What's up, people? I'm feeling good today. Wanted to What's up, people? I'm feeling good today. Wanted to praise wanted to take the time today. What's up, people? I'm feeling good. Wanted to take the time today, chill, and just praise who is, if not the greatest, one of the greatest rappers of all time, and that is Kendrick motherfucking Lamar. Right now it seems like he's at his peak of praise, and rightfully so. I feel like it seems like a unanimous chant that we're all saying, "Go Kenny, go Kenny." You know, Kenny's really like that, King Kenny. This is what I've been saying for years. And I have made a lot of content about Kendrick Lamar, but never a long video, just me praising him. And it felt good to do that today. I've been thinking about him a lot. And just kind of in shock, because how the hell has Kendrick Lamar been so successful? I mean, I absolutely think he deserves it. He's an absolute genius. When you look at all forms of art, you know, movies, books, music, obviously, all of it. Usually the genius, like the incredible, like next level puzzle piece genius, are in the underground and are only, you know, appreciated by some. And there are exceptions to this rule, but never to the extent. I don't think there's any exception of an absolute next level genius. When it comes to art and mainstream, when Kendrick Lamar is the biggest one, I think, because the shit he does he shouldn't be in the mainstream, but I think that's just another layer of his genius, that he knows what people want. He can do that, and, you know, kind of compromise a little bit to get that level of fame, but at the same time make a song like We Cry Together that is so unbelievably uncompromising, or a song like You that is so uncomfortable, or honestly the whole entire Mr. Morale is like, what the fuck, no mainstream artist should be doing this. Like, no artist who has this level of fandom should do this, but he did it anyway, you know. And there's very few artists in all genres, mainstream or not, where I feel like every album of theirs, or every piece of media that they put out there, so let's say this movie here, this movie there, there's not very much artists that it feels like they're all in one, kind of like a show. It's like 5 seasons of this guy's life, and we see how they've grown throughout their discography and their catalog and whatever. Not only how they've grown, you know, with their techniques, you know, like Kendrick Lamar's rapping has gotten better, and his production choices. Not only that, but I mean mostly as how they've grown as a human being, how their perspectives have changed, and how their life has changed with the success of their other albums. You know, you get hints and little tiny pieces of that for a lot of artists, but never to the extent that Kendrick Lamar's does. I think Mr. Morale is an incredible album, but it would not be an incredible album, or at least as an incredible album, if it was his first album, because the context that you get from his other albums, and how he was praised to this savior status, I think it adds a lot of impact to Mr. Morale. Obviously him exploiting women, you know, you wouldn't have done that with your first album. It's the fame that gives you the opportunity to do that. And so much shit that, like, even in the first song, United in Grief, he's talking about spending way too much money to cover up his issues. That song, it's amazing regardless. But on Fear, he's talking about being scared to spend money because he doesn't want to go broke. He doesn't want to go back to his old lifestyle. And when you think about that, it's like, yeah, this guy's changed since his last album. You can't really argue. There's not many artists that you can see that type of change within their lyrics. And I love that about Kendrick Lamar. And like I said, I don't know how he's reached. Well, I do know how he's reached this famous, you know, mainstream status. But it's really hard to compromise and make, you know, easier, more accessible songs while still keeping that genius he has in him alive. But somehow he does. He somehow does it. He's so unbelievably calculated with everything he does. Like I just mentioned, United in Grief. First thing he says on that song is like how many days it's been since his last album. Like, there's so much shit that's calculated, like that album, the mirror concept, and the Mess Around, the Big Steppers being the wrong names of the discs because of the mirror effect. That's just mind fucking, like, galaxy brain level shit. Who thinks of this shit? And I especially love every time he releases something, it's like you realize that, like, you won't get it all the first listen, but once you realize it, once you listen multiple times, you'll be like, holy shit, there's this. And there's songs to this day that I re-listen to, that I've been listening to for years, and I'm like, holy shit, I missed that. And I think there's a lot of shit that people, like, kind of goes over people's heads, like the reverse part in Euphoria. I think people really slept on the significance of that. It's just genius, and I've kind of explained most of that, or my interpretation of that reverse part, in my video about it's kind of a review of a review. And if our podcast did the review on the Euphoria song, and I was like, this is some bullshit, this is a terrible review, so I did a counter and explained why I thought the review was horrible, and why that reverse part is so important to understanding the song, and why their main criticism of the song would be invalid if they just understood what that reverse part meant. But anyways, go ahead, check that video. I'll put a link in the description. I want to talk about the beef, because Kendrick Lamar drops like that, and everyone's on his side right now. Everyone's like, Kendrick's on top. Then Drake drops Push-Ups, and in my opinion, Push-Ups, great song. It was arguable which one was better, but I think if you compared Drake's disses versus Kendrick's disses at each other, I thought Kendrick smoked them. Like, it was probably not even close. But Push-Ups was kind of a better song, because it was a longer song and he was dissing a lot of people. And I think Drake absolutely cooked on that front, but did not cook Kendrick, personally. But I was interested to see where it was going to go. And Kendrick took a little while to respond. And when you take a little while to respond, I think everyone was kind of like, oh shit, is Kendrick scared? Is Kendrick like... And I personally thought was like, Kendrick always going to take his time, that's what he does. But at the same time, I was like, what should take this long, you know? Apparently he's had a song ready for years. It shouldn't take him that long to respond. Even though I wasn't like oh shit, Kendrick's scared. I was more like, whatever Kendrick's about to drop is about to be amazing. But what I wasn't considering is, which I should have considered because how unbelievably fucking calculated the man is that this man was like making an entire game plan for an entire, like, fucking every scenario possible where the beef could go. At least that's what I think ended up happening, because we all know there's people saying he made like a whole album full of diss songs, and he even says on Not Like Us that he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5 left in the stock. So I don't know if he meant there's 10 more songs coming, or that he had in the archives or whatever in the vault, or if he meant that there's 5 more songs that he has ready. Either way, if he had 5 more songs ready, that's what he was working on for 2 weeks. You know, and just to think about that, who in hip hop history has ever, been dissed and was like, all right, this guy dissed me. Let me make like 15 fucking songs. And I know he didn't make 15 songs. Maybe he did. Who knows? It might be on that level of hatred. But let's say there's like 10 songs. Who the fuck is like, yo, Drake dissed me? I got 10 songs ready. Let's go. And Not Like Us was obviously pre-recorded. In my opinion, I think that was clearly. Meet the Grams was definitely pre-recorded. To have those songs just ready to go, that's insane. And I don't think people give him enough credit, because not only is it 10 songs, it's not like 10 bullshitty songs. Like every lyric on Euphoria, we all said, like, that would take me 20 years. That would take 20 of my years, me writing one line. All right, 1 year here. Focus on the first 4 lines of the song. You gotta try to upgrade the song, upgrade every line every day. And at the end of the year, we got 4 good lines. 20 years later, I got the whole song Euphoria. Kendrick Lamar did that not only in 2 weeks, but he had another song, Meet the Grams, which is, if what he said is true on that song, it's the greatest diss track of all time. And then you got Not Like Us, which is not as dense lyrically, not as layered, but every lyric slaps. There's not a single lyric on there I'm like, oh, that's he kind of had some filler there. Nah, every fucking lyric is killer. And you could argue he dropped 3 10 out of 10 diss songs. I haven't, went through all of the diss history in hip hop like a lot of people do, but in my opinion, Euphoria is my favorite of the 3 tracks, because I think it's just so hype. It's so, like, every lyric is so killer, and I love the beginning of the song. I think Meet the Grams is held back by the fact that I don't really believe Drake has a daughter. And Not Like Us is just, there's no lyrics that hit me or get me as hype as something on Euphoria. But I'd say Not Like Us is probably less flawed than Euphoria, because there are some lyrics on Euphoria that, even though they're hard, they kind of aged weirdly, like him saying that he's glad when Drake sees success, and then we move on to Meet the Grams. It's kind of like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't absolutely hate this man with every fiber of your being? But I think the high moment on Euphoria make me like this song a little more than I like Not Like Us. But anyways, 3 fucking masterpiece of diss tracks. I think there's some amazing diss tracks out there, but those all 3, in my opinion, are in contention for some of the best ever. If I had to make a top 10 list, easily all 3 of them in there. They're all fucking amazing. I mean, Not Like Us, maybe the catchiest diss song of all time. Meet the Grams, the exact opposite of that, the most fucking uncomfortable diss track of all time. And Euphoria is kind of that healthy middle ground there with just hype, amazing hype moments, really like angry, aggressive moments. But you could just put it on in the car and have a good time, despite it being a little angry. So, I mean, that's an incredible catalog. And then you got 616 in LA, which works more as a puzzle piece, in my opinion, than a diss song. You know, it's not a 10 out of 10 song, but it is pretty underrated. I love the beat. I think it's an absolutely genius puzzle piece. A lot of people don't know that he sampled, I don't remember who it was, but it was Al Green, and then I don't remember his name, the man who he sampled on Euphoria, but Al Green, who was sampled on 616 in LA, and on Euphoria there was someone sampled. Those 2 people that were sampled back in the day made a song, or an album, something like that, called Back to Back. And then Kendrick drops Euphoria and 616 in LA back to back. Genius shit. Tailor-made freestyle was the name of Drake's diss. The AI bullshit, whatever. Taylor Swift's main producer produced the song 616 in LA. Just genius. And then there was all those theories about the song title. Really the only one that I truly believe is the Tupac and maybe the Father's Day one. There's a lot of like crazy, like, oh my god, OJ Simpson this, and then Michael Jackson this, and then the Bible verse that, like, I don't know if I believe all that. Maybe the Euphoria one, maybe. There's a lot of reason for sure. But I love when people reach. I will never hate on someone reaching, because that means you're engaging with the art, and I'd much rather you be so passionate about it that you start believing things that aren't true, as opposed to being so like, oh, there's nothing to interpret here, man. This is just basic, you know. That's way less passion and love being put into the art you're consuming. So I'm fine with that. And to be fair, Kendrick Lamar makes it really hard not to read sometimes, because the man is such a fucking genius, and there's so much Easter eggs and puzzle pieces. It's hard not to reach, you know. But anyway, I just wanted to highlight that because Kendrick Lamar really thought all this through. I really would love to hear the songs that didn't come out. See what else Kendrick had to say. But I think where he left it was a good place. I kind of have this weird theory, and I don't think it's not a theory because anything that's happened, you know, it's not a theory that, you know, there's an Easter egg here that makes me think this theory. It's not. It's just something I hope happens. Kendrick Lamar did not make a single music video for this whole thing. If he made a Not Like Us music video, it would go viral. I just really hope whenever Drake finally is ready to come outside and drop an album, that same day Kendrick Lamar drops a Not Like Us music video. That would be fucking hilarious. And that's just a nail in the coffin, really. That would be the nail in the coffin. Get Drake the fuck up out of here. Y'all know I don't like Drake. And it's one of my favorites. This couldn't have played out better, in my opinion. In my opinion, the way Drake kind of was making it weird about Whitney on the Heart Part 6 and Family Matters, even if the allegations are false, which I believe they're false because Whitney's brother came out in support of Kendrick, but that's not actual proof of anything. There's no true confirmation. But anyways, I think regardless if they're true or not, Whitney's life was not going to be the same. You know, it's going to only get worse if Kendrick keeps responding. So, I think he might have stopped responding in support of her, and not only in support of her, but if it was like a 50-50, he would have kept going, I think. In terms of like 50-50, we don't know who's winning. but it seemed like it was unanimous. And the hard part 6 is almost like the nail in the coffin was not like us, but Drake just put himself like way deeper in the fucking dirt with the hard part 6. That song was awful. Then we got this whole thing. It was really fun moment. I'm glad to be alive in the same time that this happened. Probably the coolest hip hop moment I've been a part of. And that's the thing. The other ones that are in contention for that are also Kendrick Lamar moments. As much as he does so much inaccessible things, he really knows how to bring the hip hop community together and really make something happen. Like when the Heart Part 5 dropped, everyone was talking about that shit. And whenever Mr. Morale dropped, even though it wasn't universally loved at first, and it still really isn't to this day, I think it's a misunderstood masterpiece. But that's a moment, man. When he dropped, that's a moment in hip hop. Everyone comes together to talk about it. And it's not the same as when Kanye drops, because when Kanye drops, yes, of course that's a moment because he's one of the biggest names in hip hop. And when Drake drops, the same thing, everyone's gonna talk about it. But people talking about an album and that album's concept and how that concept affects them and how they interpret what Kendrick is doing on that, it's much different than when Travis Scott dropped Utopia, and half the people are saying this shit slaps, half the other people are saying this shit sucks, you know. And I kind of just made a random name. Same thing with Cardi. Like, some people are gonna like it, some people aren't. I'm not gonna say 50-50. I think there's a lot more people that like it that don't. But there's not much to talk about, is what I'm saying. When Kendrick Lamar drops something, there's a lot to digest and analyze. That's what happened with Euphoria. That's what happened with the Heart Part 5. I wasn't a huge Kendrick fan, or even a music fan, as huge of a music fan as I am today when Damn dropped. But I'm sure it was the same, you know, especially with the ending of Duckworth, the way it all reverses. I mean, the Tip of the Butterfly must have been an insane moment. The Control verse, I'm sure, was everyone at school like, what the fuck just happened, guys? Oh my god, Kendrick just dropped. It's like, I'm glad I got to experience one in real time, because that's what he does. He makes moments. And yeah, Drake is bigger, but you can't say Drake makes moments. The biggest moment Drake makes is when he drops a music video or something, or the biggest moments Drake makes is when his dick pic gets leaked, or he says to meet the Max Win on a live stream. There's no one's gonna remember that 50 years from now and be like, wow, what a moment. You know, no one's gonna tell their grandkids about that. But Kendrick Lamar, he's just a different breed. Like I said, everything he does ages somehow ages well. I was listening to a song called Black Friday, which a lot of people don't know about this song, and what I think this song is what people like. If we really wanted friendly competition, this would be what it was, because Black Friday was a song where Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole are on the same song. It's not on streaming. Kendrick Lamar raps over a J. Cole beat, and J. Cole raps over a Kendrick beat. And I guess it was just kind of to see who had a better verse. They weren't really dissing each other or even mentioning each other that much. But it's clearly friendly competition, and it's clearly for the fans to be like, who had the better verse. If people really wanted friendly competition, that's what they would want. And I would love to see that happen again, because J. Cole has since improved, and Kendrick Lamar absolutely washed them on this song. But the point I'm getting at to referencing this track is Kendrick Lamar on that song. This song came out maybe 2016, 2015. It was after Tip of the Butterfly, because it has the alright beat on it. But he mentions they tapping out before we even get the chance to diss them. It's 2024, and that lyric has aged incredibly. Like, we just saw what happened to J. Cole, and it's on a J. Cole beat that he says that. And then he says, you're racing against the tortoise, pace myself, it's important. The thing that just happened with Drake. You know, he took his time and absolutely murdered Drake. Drake was kind of fucking around, playing around too much. He got killed. And there's so many lyrics like that. I was listening to Section 80, and he's like talking about killing rappers, and it just ages beautifully. And when you look at a rapper that he's compared to a lot, not because they're similar in any way, just because people argue who's better a lot and who's the real GOAT. I mean, they're not the two main GOATs, I guess, in the GOAT discussion, but for a lot of people they are, Kanye and Kendrick. And when you look at Kanye's discography, it's like every lyric he says has said in the past has aged like milk, and it sucks, because this is what matters, really. You know, you can have a cool moment, but us talking about it 10 years from now is what makes music timeless. And when I listen to like Graduation, you know, he's like, damn, I hate these people more than the Nazis. Or when I listen to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and he's kind of like hating on Trump. I don't remember what the lyric was exactly. Donald Trump balled in taking dollars from y'all. That's what it was. It's like everything ages poorly. Like listening to Bound 2, the song is talking about Kim the whole time. You know, his music, with time, it gets worse. Kendrick Lamar has a rare thing where his music is just getting better and better. You know, you listen to a Travis Scott song, he's talking about getting lit at a fucking concert. You know, that hasn't aged well. You listen to J. Cole talking about him being the greatest rapper and him being ready for beef. That hasn't aged well. You talk about Drake, you're listening to Drake talking about being in a relationship with a girl. That's, you know, I'm thinking about a minor when you say that now. I'm thinking about whenever you act tough. I'm like, is this really who you are? Is this really who you are? It's very rare to see someone look back at their career and be like, wow, that's aged like wine, like fine wine. That's why Kendrick is a different breed. That's why he is much better than these other rappers. And that's why I don't think there's anyone that you can compare him to other than like people who, you know, stop doing shit, stop being in the public eye, like a Andre 3000, or someone who's more chill, like a Black Thought. Because most of these rappers, they just ruin their public perception with more time. You know, they do some stupid shit. They do, and they write things that they change their mind on. And there's nothing wrong with changing your mind. Like I said, Kendrick Lamar's music, we see how he's changed as a human being throughout time. But to be like, oh, I hate the Nazis, to being a Nazi, or at least a Nazi defender, or a Hitler lover, whatever Kanye called himself, that's a bit of a different trajectory than Kendrick Lamar going from being praised to I'm not your savior, you know? So that's why I think Kendrick's a different breed. I think I've said enough. I'm almost done with these Doritos. Kendrick Lamar, you're the fucking GOAT, man. See you.